What's up, everybody? What's up? This is another edition of C.A.P, Cultivate, Accumulate, Prosper. I'm your boy, JD, and let's cultivate.
And I'm your girl, Erica E. Jizzle. Let's accumulate.
And together we will all
prosper.
It's good to be back in the booth. How's it been going?
Yes. I am so excited to be here. It's been a long week.
It definitely has. It's been a long and challenging couple weeks, but I know on the other side of all this, something good is about to happen. So,
right.
Yep.
That's okay. I'm glad to be here. Let's get it started.
Okay, let's get right off into the buzz. The buzz we got today. The first buzz topic is Good Times reboot that's going to be on Netflix coming out 6 days from now on the 12th of this month. What do you think about that, Eric?
Let me tell you, I'm excited about it. I saw the trailer for it, and first, one of my, as far as the shows from back in the day, Good Times was one of my favorite. So to see this reboot, I think I'm enjoyed. It's a lot different with it being like the cartoon feel and everything, and you can see a lot of differences in it, but it's going to be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it's, I grew up watching Good Times, along with Sanford and Son and the Jeffersons or whatnot. My take, I'm still out. The jury's out on. I got to see at least maybe an episode. It's because it's animated,
right?
And it's supposed to be up to date. Now I do like some of the people that they got doing the voices. You got JB Smoove, Yvette Nicole, Jay Farrow, and Marseille, the young lady that used to play on Blackish. But I guess my thing is stereotypes. What type of stereotypes are they going to, since it's an up-to-date 21st century version of Good Times. But, I'll judge it based off at least looking at an episode to see if it's something I'm going to be interested in or if it's just another one of these fly-by-night just trying something or whatnot. But, it seems, the trailer for it made it seem kind of interesting. But
funny.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I never would have thought they would have did a reboot of Good Times. Not in a million years. Yeah, it's like, come on, they're doing a lot of remakes of a lot of things nowadays. But the next buzz topic is the young lady here from Memphis, Tennessee, Glorilla, was on Club Shay Shay. Now, I haven't watched the whole podcast, which I follow Club Shay Shay, of course. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've seen snippets of it on IG. Mm-hmm. But what's your take on it? And I'll give you my take.
Okay, so Glorilla, Glow. I haven't seen the whole thing yet either. I've just seen the snippets on IG as well. But I think the first thing that caught my eye was what they were saying about how the people in Memphis talk. She was putting the R's and stuff in a lot of the words, they have you in it, like Merzik instead of music and all this, and Ursha instead of Usher. And and then she said that if you come to Memphis, you'll see everybody talk like this. So that's been the buzz on social media with everybody, because it's like, I like Glow, but I don't talk like that. And I for sure don't talk like that. But so I found that to be very interesting. But then as I started looking at other clips, Glow is young and, she can be, as termed hood in some sense, but she has a whole lot of sense, especially about her work ethic and getting out there and getting the job done and taking it serious, even to the point of fasting from social media, and just her takes and how she looks at life says a whole lot to me about her.
And it's not a one size fit all when it comes to people.
Right.
You're going to see more than one side of an individual, but people are going to latch on to the most polarizing side of a person. She's a smart young lady. But at the same time, she the little clips that I saw, she was authentically being herself. Now, whether you like that or not, it is what it is. But I can respect someone who's going to be themselves, tell their truth. But I think that she's definitely, Gotti made a powerful move when he signed her, because she has a demographic of followers, of fans, that follow her music just like they follow Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi and some of these other female rappers. And regardless if that's your cup of tea or not, it is for some other folks.
Right.
But and she did have the little bit that I did see when Shannon asked her certain questions on how she deals with family now that she's made it, and with folks kind of like pulling at her. For her to be her age, there was a little bit of wisdom shed it there, because once you make it big like that, you're gonna have people pulling at you every which direction, regardless of what age you are.
Exactly.
So for her being 24, her dealing with how she deals with dating guys or whatnot, it may be a little raw for some folks, but at the same time, is what's real. You got to know, you got to be able to use the good sense God gave you, regardless of what you're doing or whatnot. But she was on the Tamron Hall show and Club Shay Shay, so she is capitalizing on her success, and as they say, yeah, glow.
Yeah, glow.
Okay, and the third buzz topic, something that I was actually watching yesterday, the championship women's game is going to come down to the University of South Carolina Gamecocks and the Iowa Hawkeyes. What is your take on that? And I give you mine.
Okay, so I'm just starting to get, past couple of years, understand sports a little bit better, and basketball is the sport that I understand the most. And I think that it's really pretty cool. I've heard a lot about South Carolina. I believe they have a 37-0 winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
So that is commendable, and it's the whole team primarily African American with the African American coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what I love about them is that the coach is not just about playing the game. It's also instilling something into your players and how you react to certain things. So I love the way the coach deals with them. Interesting game last night, to say the least, on some ending calls. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting game, especially with Caitlin Clark playing, because you got to give her props. She can play. She can go.
Well, this game is last year was the first time I ever watched women's basketball in the way that I would watch football, because football is my sport. Because when I would play LSU, let's just quiet the elephant in the room. This game is bigger than just the game itself. It's a lot of racial undertones, because Iowa is predominantly white team with a white superstar young lady who can shoot. Caitlin Clark, she is the truth. She can shoot. But they represent the dynamics of folks who made comments and stuff online because of the way where we are in this nation right now. People can try to skirt around it, but there's still a lot of racial undertones in this nation right now.
Right.
And so, these are young ladies playing basketball, but folks will still make it about what it is. Now, South Carolina, I have mad respect for the head coach, Dawn Staley. She used to be a WNBA basketball player. Hell of a coach, but her character speaks a lot, and how she instills with the young ladies. And Iowa beat them last year in the Final Four to get to the championship.
Right.
And they were undefeated. Now we fast forward, it comes full circle. Now they fit to play each other in the championship with South Carolina being undefeated. And I just hope that it's a good call game, that the refs, don't influence it by anything. And let these girls play, and may the best team win. And I feel that I'm pulling for South Carolina.
I am too.
Even though I'm a TSU alumni, but I'm pulling for South Carolina. But I just hope that that they just let them play, because so we're recording this today. The game is going to be tomorrow. So the next time we do an episode, we will know who is the women's champion after 3:00 tomorrow on ABC for the world to see. Last year, it broke records with Iowa playing LSU, and the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese, and LSU end up winning. Now this year they playing an undefeated South Carolina team, and so it should be it's elevated women's basketball. So if anybody has a family member or friend that plays women's basketball, they have elevated the sport big time. So I look forward to the game tomorrow. I will be watching it.
Let's go South Carolina.
Yeah, so now that's the end of our buzz segment. So now today, we have the privilege to have some special guests whom I've known for quite a few years. Two ladies who are twin sisters. So our first time having a set of twins on the show. Even though my co-host is a twin as well.
I
am. These ladies are TSU alumni like myself. They've recorded 5 independent music projects, can definitely sing, very talented. They've had the pleasure of performing in South Africa and London, England, performing at various festivals, theaters, and award shows. Go ahead and introduce Rashonda Gooch Moore and Ralonda Gooch, better known as Radiance.
Hey.
Hey, y'all. Happy to be here. Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Okay. Besides what little bit I said before we get started, what do you want to tell the audience about yourselves? Anything that you want to say?
Well, we came in from Nashville, Tennessee this morning. Been doing the music thing since 1999. We began to write and we began to do live shows under the name. Originally, our name was something else.
Okay. We
changed it later. Radiance is the second name change, but we began to do live shows. Now, the independent scene of Nashville was definitely different at that time. It was marked country music, but it was a lot of things going on in the underground market. And a lot of the TV programs were on the community access TV in the city. So we did a lot of TV shows then in coffee houses and a lot of, different venues that weren't necessarily on TV.
Okay.
Well, let me say also, our birthplace is Memphis, Tennessee. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
We are one of, me and my twin sister, our other siblings were actually born in Nashville. It's just that when our dad came to Memphis to work,
okay,
and our mother was pregnant with us. So in 1977, she gave birth to us here in Memphis.
Okay.
She didn't know she was having twins.
That's right. That's right.
Until the day she had us, and then I arrived.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Memphis is the birthplace.
Yeah.
Okay. So born here in Memphis.
Raised in Nashville.
Raised in Nashville. Tennessee all the way. Gotcha.
Surprising your parents and stuff.
Yeah, surprise.
Wait, which one was the surprise?
Me. Yeah, because I'm the firstborn twin. But, they didn't know she was having twins because they didn't even see twins on the ultrasound.
Wow.
Right. When she gave birth, they was like, there's another one in there. They love telling us that story.
Yeah, it was going to be 2 of us.
Especially our dad. He loves to tell, our dad and mom is not together, but he loves to tell us, but they're both still alive. Yeah. So,
That's a blessing. Okay. Well, all right, ladies, let's get started with this. I'm excited to have you all here. Like I said, I've known these 2 young ladies since, let's just say it's been 19 years. We met, actually, it's been a
little longer.
Yeah, it's been 20.
TSU in 1999.
Yeah, but I met you all when it was, it's actually been 20 years because I met you all in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So, but we, like I said, when we was at TSU, I didn't ever see you all until way after graduating and meeting out when I moved back to Nashville or whatnot. But so it's a pleasure to have you all here. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna ask you the first question I want to say was, out of your 5 independent music projects, which one was your favorite, and which one would you say was your most challenging?
Well, for me, our first project, it's like the second project, Dance with Radiance.
Okay.
That one was my favorite.
Me too.
Well,
I mean, we were just beginning the challenge of, when we decided, like, come on, let's try this music thing. Because we started off in actually dancers first.
Right.
We danced with community dancers. Then we both were trained in music. We played clarinet 8 years. So we did marching bands and choirs and praise teams. And then one day we just decided, let's try to do this music thing just as, solo acts. So that one became the challenge, stepping out to write our first songs and stepping out. We didn't know anything. Everything was trial and error because we wanted to be independent artists. We didn't want to sign. Because, a lot of times when you're signing, you lose that creative control.
Right.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be ourselves. So we decided to start independently. But yeah, Dance for Radiance was probably my first. My favorite.
Amazingly, I guess the more complex one though was when we did the beautiful one. That one that's the one we actually were nominated for the Nashville Independent Music Awards for.
Okay.
But on that one, we stepped out into doing our own production too as well.
That's major.
The projects before we had producers, music composers and producers. But on that one, that's when we stepped out and did our own production, music, recording, kind of do it yourself thing.
Okay.
But and the message was Christian undertone, but it was still mainstream. But so that was definitely the more complex, but it was the one that was most rewarded. The people loved it. We had the spoken word, we had hip hop, R&B, we had, the versatility on that particular CD because we were able to really go there with a different, unique sound and everything because we composed it and produced it and wrote it.
Because you all had full creative control.
And we had no choice because it was kind of like everybody had stuff going on at that time after we, when we were getting ready to start that CD.
Yeah.
So we and it was good because it caused us to step out and stretch and realize the treasures within us. The gifts were always there because one thing about us, we evolved in music and arts. Yeah. Before we entered business, it was always community for us. So it was easy to even stay through the community despite money or no money. It just was always in us because what was it? The age of 6 when we did our first dance performance, we did it at Fisk University. And at that time we were an opening act for a high school organization called the Sub Debs. One of our older sisters, she was at Whites Creek High School at the time, a school in Nashville. It's a predominantly black school in Nashville. So they had a step show and they asked us to open it and dance, and we did. So that kind of just started it. Although we were dancing in the communities already, doing backyard talent shows and stuff. But that started the trail of everything we started doing through the community of Nashville, Tennessee.
So that was the spark that lit the fire.
It was the spark.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
That's amazing because I see what side y'all came in on. I think since I was like very young, I was into theater and writing and stage plays, but didn't actually get to it till many years later. But I was always somewhere in it, whether it's at church or writing a skit or acting. It's what's in you. It's going to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely. And we actually did a stage play in 2003, an original piece called Glitter and Gold.
Okay.
And we casted. We did the casting for the actors and actresses. We did the music direction. We wrote the songs. And we performed it. It was a place called The Castle. And it was a cast member. The cast member was, about eight?
It was 8 major roles.
It was 8 major roles. And then we had the extras. So, and it was musical theater. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, I need to talk to y'all even more. We might do some work together. Nashville and Memphis. Let's go.
It's harder to do everything independently.
Yeah.
Because when you sign with a label or sign with, production teams, they just can get you there faster because of money. They can do everything. But we literally did everything. We've done our website. We did the creativity. We did the promotion. We did the booking. We had all the contacts with some of the major people in the industry. They were very humble and to allow us to join them. Some of the ones we did connect with, like Arlinda Garrett, she's in Atlanta, Georgia. She used to have these music business empowerment conferences in Atlanta. So we performed there for her events. And also the Sweet Urban Music Festival in Atlanta, Georgia. I believe, is she his great granddaughter? The guy that's the legacy behind that movement. I can't remember if she's the great granddaughter. She's some kindred to him. And, we would talk back and forth to them. And we did the Sweet Urban Music Festival in Atlanta, Georgia, 4 different years. So we made good connections, good contacts with major people that gave us the hand up. Because the bottom line is they're used to some of the major artists. And we were able to step into that place. And also there was a market for independent artists. And what I mean by that, there was a movement that came that would say, we have to, we'll book you if you're independent. We'll put you on this online radio if you're independent. it was a movement that didn't even allow the people that were signed, because it was set up for independent artists only. And I believe that became the advantage for a lot of people, not just us, but a lot of people that stepped out independently, even in other cities, because it became a operating network. And what happened is, you know, some of us got laughed at going online to MySpace and putting our music out there, but now the whole movement is there.
Yeah.
The whole movement is there.
Everything is digital and
Right.
streaming. But let me also say, we had some good teachers. A well-known attorney, his name is Richard Manson. In our beginning stages, we learned from a lot of people. And he's worked for people like C.C. Winans. He's worked in the industry for a long time, many years, but you know, he would sit us in the office and encourage us. Because sometimes when you're doing things independently, you just don't know what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you step out there and you're like, well, how is this thing going to work? But you realize when you step out, the things will begin to add. You know how that verse of scripture that says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will begin to add to you. And that's what we did, because we stepped out on nothing. But like people like attorney Richard Manson, Rossi, who took us to South Africa, and then some of the beginning stages, Riley Baxter, just some people that helped us in our beginning stages and told us where to go. You know, read this book. You're going to do a lot of reading if you really want to do this. He was real with us. Our friend Riley, he told us that. He's like, well, we want to step out and do music independently. He was like, okay, it's going to take a lot of reading. And he was right. It took some mistakes too. That's how we learned. And now we're in a position to give back, so people don't have to make some of the mistakes we made. But it's been a run. It's been a journey. And it's been incredible. We've met a whole lot of people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that like our style of music. We met people that didn't like our style of music. Right. So that's part of it as well, just to keep going against the odds. And when things are working in your favor and when things are not working in your favor, that doesn't mean the gift is not in you and that it's not working. You just got to keep walking it out. And also the beauty of what we've done in the music is that we didn't have to do it full time, but because it was like such a part of our nature, just from just being a child and going through it, it became easy to juggle, you know, still natural life while doing the music on the side. Yeah. So we were still, you know, able to go to college. A lot of them can't go to college now; they're doing it, but we were able to still go to Walmart. I like the idea of still, you know what I'm saying, not having so much glory to where you can still travel alone, but people still will respect who you are because they've seen you perform somewhere, right? You know, but it ain't just this glorious, like unreachable. We're real people, you know. And I think sometimes a lot of the entertainers will set up their image where it's like you're unreachable, you can't be touched. Right. We didn't want that. We didn't want. I mean, anybody can do it, but we just didn't want it. But people will notice who you are when you go out in public. They'll say, "Look, I saw you perform at the African Street Festival, or I remember you performing at the club." They'll call things and they remember where we've performed. And I love the idea of still dwelling with the people. The power community.
Exactly. Right. Life is still where the people are.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the reward, because like when we were younger in junior high school, both of us were chosen to go to an event in Nashville. It was called Grammys for the School. Now, when we were there, the country music star Vince Gill was there, and he had performed. Nobody knew his name, but I mean he's known now. But we got that opportunity to experience that, and we've gone to Apollo and things like that. But the greatest reward is to hear people tell you, you know, your music inspired me. Your music kept me from committing suicide. Right. I'm inspired. Those things become the reward more than, you know, and to see people dance too. If you can take people from a different energy, where they might feel depression or they might feel heavy, and then they hear your music and it's like, swing, y'all turned on the music and I started dancing. I was dancing. Or a man came to me one time and was like, well, my wife wouldn't turn that y'all song off. We have a song called One, where it talks about relationships. And he was like, she plays that song all day long. I'm so tired of it. But things like that becomes the reward. That becomes, you know, that pat on the back. And it makes you realize that what you're doing is not in vain. But when you inspire people, that's the greatest honor.
And the good thing also, you know, how we were able to load up our music years ago online. Like there was a young man. He contacted us one time on Facebook. He was like, look, he had one of our songs posted on his page. And it was a song that we posted years ago. We've been able to do gospel and mainstream. This particular song was some gospel music. And he you know, he was young. So it's like some of them weren't even born when we started in 1999. But we got to realize that when we release a message, sometimes it's prophetic, which means it's coming for the future. Or it may be foretelling, but it's still some things that God has us release certain things. We might not understand it, But the power of a messenger is the message.
Right.
It's not the message is not trying to say, listen to me. It's trying to say, no, knowledge is available. Because everybody is not going to necessarily listen to what you have to say, but we're still responsible to say it. And in saying it, that knowledge has been released and somebody is going to catch it somewhere. So that young man, he's younger. He's probably in his 20s.
Yeah, he's probably in his early 20s.
And it's like you in your mind, you're like, darn, I forgot all about that.
I forgot about that song.
God is like, see, I'm trying to show you as a messenger, you have to release the message. You don't have to subject the people to hear or to agree with you saying, but somebody in the future is going to catch the wave and they're going to need it. And it becomes, what it is every time we put a message out there is knowledge, and they grow in the grace of the knowledge of God. And those who need to hear will hear.
And that's absolutely right. And when you talk about the diversity, like you was talking about Glorilla, how, she might not be for everybody. That is so important. Because, in our beginning stages, we had a prominent man, a powerful DJ in Nashville. And he said to me, he's right before we were about to perform in a location, he said, twin, I don't like that. I don't like the genre y'all doing. At first I was it hit me like, it's kind of like the attitude, but then I thought about it. I respected it. Cause I'm like, that's fine. You don't like this genre, but the doors that have opened with us doing that particular genre, the people that we met doing that particular genre, the people that were inspired doing that particular genre. If we would have stopped just because one man said it and because he was a powerful man, listen, power don't stop nobody. When it's in you to do it, I don't care how powerful they are. They can't stop your message.
Right.
Because you got to get to somebody, leave the 99 and search for the one. You may go to a crowd of 1,000. You may go to a crowd of 2. You may go to a crowd of 1,000,000. But it's always going to be one in the crowd that's going to meet the change and need the change from the message that you give or from the work that you're doing. And that's why you can't stop. You can't stop thinking, well, I went out today and we performed in front of 1,000 people, but only one person came up to us. Right. And that was the one.
Yeah, and that's important because we're in a time where they look at numbers. You're in social media. Yeah. People look at numbers. They like, well, I'm not approved or affirmed because I don't have at least 1,000 people following me. But it's not about
streams. People look at streams. Yeah.
Surprisingly, you know what city really lifted us? It was Atlanta, Georgia. Our biggest crowd, we did backup dancing one time. I think it was 2011 or 2010 for the Stellar Awards when they had it at the Grand Ole Opry. We backup danced for Deidre Hatton. He probably don't remember because the leading artist, we backstage, they choreographing and we just go out there and perform with them. But Atlanta, Georgia, that was a big crowd. But Atlanta, Georgia, one year when we did the Sweet Auburn Music Festival, that crowd was so big you couldn't even see where it stopped. So what I'm saying is, your message, sometimes we think, well, we're from Nashville, Tennessee. Sometimes it might be, no, you might be a gift for somebody in the world. But your planting ground may be a certain city, but you cannot look to your own city or your own sometimes to support you and think that they're enemy because they didn't.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You're sent to someone, no. It even says a prophet is only without honor amongst his own. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you can't be offended because a lot of times Nashville, they gave us the opportunity, but the love was more felt from Georgia, Africa, some of those places. But the people that loved us in Nashville, I highly respect them, and I will tell the world about them. But there was some, and you know what? I'm not going to tell the world about the ones who stoned us. For what? It ain't no need because the mission is complete. The mission is being done. You see, you just got to stay. It's important. We just can't figure out the final end of things. You have to stay obedient to the call.
Exactly.
And you have to stay within the structure because sometimes in your lane is the safest place. Sometimes we step out and try to do a little bit more. And it's like, I guarantee you, your peace remains if you just stay in the lane. Stay in the lane. The focus you keep, like they said, if you hit that thing just a little bit, keep on hitting that same spot, it's going to break. But sometimes we all over here, well, I feel like it needs to be this way. I feel like I need to be like this artist. We need to be on these charts. Our call might be to work the valley. The light is still in the valley. Some people are on the mountain, and we can do, like the time we went to South Africa. Now, I didn't know that Beyonce, I think it was Jay-Z, Usher, some of them people is there for the Mandela 100 too. Now, we might have been on another level. They had these big concerts because a lot of those big name artists here in America, they're not big name artists in Africa because they have their own artists. But some of the people like Beyonce's, Jay-Z, Usher, they do know those names. So they was over there to do their big concerts. We're in the communities of Africa. No, them big people probably don't know our name, but we came at the same time as them to do the same work. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
We came to perform. We performed at a school in Africa, and then we performed at a community center. And they ended up inviting us up at that community center to sing with them.
The African
choir.
An honor.
It was an honor.
Incredible. They looked at us and said, hey, can you come up here and perform? You know, the African accent. Come up here and perform with us. That was like the greatest honor.
It was honorable.
We didn't even know their names.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know any of their names. I wanted to cry when I got up there.
I did cry.
Wow.
Because when people tell you, you know, you want to visit Africa at least one time, because
I still need to go.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry out here, but
It's okay.
the way Africa feels, y'all, it don't feel nothing like America. To go to Africa, the bondage that we feel here, the disrespect that we feel here.
That is on my.
Wish everybody has the
To step
opportunity
in
to
one time.
feel the liberation that Black people can feel that we was meant to have.
The worth. It's the worth. And it has nothing to do with money, name, brand, none of that stuff. They sit you down at tables and talk about family names and your heritage. They don't talk about your money. The plugs are even different. It's a whole nother world.
Just the respect level, just
beautiful.
and then just to come back to the grounds of America, then to realize
You don't have to be
the
this way.
bondage we
Yep.
feel here.
Right.
Wow. I'd be like, just if you can get a chance, if you get an opportunity to go to Africa as an African American person,
Especially Black women, our image.
we would do so much better here. We would treat each other so much better
Yep.
because we are royalty. We truly are. I wish we would know.
Man, you all expressing that was one of my questions that I was going to ask, but you totally knocked it out the park. That's on my agenda before I leave this earth, is to go visit Africa. To go to the I definitely want to go to the coast, the Ivory Coast, where the slave trade was happening and everything. But yeah, I can definitely just tell by your depth of emotions on how we're viewed over here, regardless of how successful or quote unquote unsuccessful folks would be, as opposed, because the image that, and I do mentoring and stuff to students and stuff like that, and I try to tell them, like, hey, whether you're from South Memphis or from wherever you're from, you're bigger. Your purpose is bigger than what you see on TV and or what people try to label you as. But you got to know that,
Right.
And nowadays with a lot of stuff that's going on with not only with folks, whether they're married, single, within families, anything within the Black community, it's just like it's like the enemy is like throwing darts, and folks are falling for stuff, and so so it's just it's one of those things where if you don't know what your worth is, and know that that your skin, this skin is not a sin, how they try to project it, and we're not just someone who's just a superstar athlete, a rapper, a movie actor, or whatnot. We're all these things and so much more, but a lot of our people are only, they're not realizing it. And then, you can't love God and say that you love, that you don't love people and you don't love yourself. And a lot of people are false advertising out here. Oh, I'm for the culture, I'm for the people, I'm for this and that, but then they're hateful towards people.
Right.
Or jealous towards people, and it's like the two don't mix like oil and water. It doesn't. You can't say, hey, I love God, but you hate people. The two don't mix, and then your own self, you so many people idolize other folks just because of whatever, but then they have self-hatred, and whether it's been taught or not, it's still something that has to be broken.
Right.
And so I'm definitely setting me a trip to go over there because I've always wanted to, because the image that our children, younger folks, they, when they think of Africa, they think of what they see on TV when folks showing Like we grew up, folks showing the kids with the, and stuff like that stuff happens, but that's not. That is not. Yeah, I haven't been over to know this. I met folks to know that that's not. That's a small, minute.
Yeah, Africa's very rich. That's why they don't. That's the part they don't want you to see.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want us to bring clarity as well, because I don't know if we told you why we went to Africa. We went for the Nelson Mandela 100 year celebration.
Yeah.
And that's the brilliance of it. That's what I'm saying. We were in the communities while a lot of the artists that they had from America that are major, they were there, to do concerts for the celebration. But it was all over the city. It was wow. Food, partying in the streets, nice.
Just sounds amazing to even be a part of something like that. And Jerry said you kind of went into one of his questions, but you went into one of mine too. No, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine because it's just coming out naturally. And just the emotion behind it, just hearing about it is what's most meaningful to me. So trust me, it's not messing up the show nowhere. Sometimes you got to put the cards away anyway. Yeah. And let it go with the flow. God just comes on in and
music and the mission.
Exactly.
Not just music.
Exactly. So in the question that I did have for you, can you tell us about your journey that led to your book Pure Gold?
Oh, okay. So Pure Gold is an autobiography that we wrote about our journey into music. That's exactly what it is. Our journey into music. So we start from the beginning. We start with the what we talked about earlier, starting off at 6 years old, in the step show, and then going into when we were in the 5th grade. Yeah. Start into music. So both of us have the ability to read music because we started off in concert band with the clarinet, and then going into marching bands and going into choirs. So we talk about a lot of those things, and then some personal things as well. How when we were 9, I think we were about 9 when we in a car fire. Yeah, it was 7. 7. We were 7 years old when we were in a car fire. We talk about just the little things. Just the whole life journey, and as it relates to us going into music and some of the challenges that we had to face personally,
Fire. Were there any serious injuries?
There were no serious injuries. We got out in time, right before it caught on fire. So
it caught on fire while we was in it, but we got out before it engulfed right
into
fire. Yeah.
Wow.
Never forget that day we were on our way to school. Our mother was dropping us off to school. And then we were in the back seat of the car, and then one of our younger brothers, our mother's son, was in the front seat. And we were on Jefferson in Nashville, Tennessee. At the time, there was a place called Lee's Chicken. And I remember telling Mom, being like, Mama, I'd never forget that day. We were 7, but I remember it. I was like, Mama, the seat is on fire. And it was like on my right side. It was on this, and it was in the back seat. And she just looked back real quick, but she pulled her instinct, listen. The power, that's what we talk about in Pure Gold. The power of that is that she listened to 7-year-olds. She heard us the first time. She pulled that car over immediately. She didn't see the fire herself. We saw it. And it was like, she pulled over real quick in Lee's Chicken parking lot. She got off the car. We got out. And she was like, wait right here. I remember there being a black lady out there. It's like that lady just disappeared. She came up to Mama and was like, y'all all right?
But it was the black man.
It was a black man?
I was talking about the black man. I remember when the black man screamed and said, because we were standing by the car.
Oh, I do remember that.
And he screamed, he pulled over. He said, hey. He started screaming, hey, get away from the car.
Yeah.
And we heard him because he was stern.
Yeah, because I'm
So we ran on across the street and got away from the car.
Because she had said wait, because she was trying to use the phone. And I do remember a black lady approaching her, though.
Yeah.
And, being like, you all right? She was just a calm lady. And then we looked up, she was gone. I believe in angels. I'm sorry. I believe God, like it says in the word, be careful because you may be entertaining angels unaware.
So that guy told y'all he had that Teddy Pendergrass voice. Close the door.
It was one of those. So it's like, oh no, let's get away from me. I don't know who it was. Let's go. I don't know who it is, but I'm getting it. It was starting off.
But amazingly in the book, we pull out Pure Gold, when we talk about we pull out the word smoke because we talk about the smoke of that fire. Our dad used to have a Doberman picture called Smoke. And all the neighborhood kids at that time used to play in our mother's backyard because she had a basketball goal. And for some reason, that dog would break the chain. He never would chase the kids. He would break the chain and just do a full laps around the house. But eventually, we talk about how somebody poisoned him with rat poison. And that was our first, sight of death. And then we talk about the smoke of us dancing.
Because
the Greek show.
Because that's what they did on that Greek show. All the smoke was going. Mm-hmm. And so we were supposed to come out first, but we got scared. Mm-hmm. And what we did, we ran to Mama. And she just kind of was holding us. She was like, okay, she was trying to convince us, get back out there. So we got back out there. And when we got back out there, we, did the performance. But moments can set your life off. If you say no, it's not going to happen. But if you try, what might happen? So you just got to step out there. So it was Pure Gold Medicine. It was kind of like that became like that beginning, like that spark.
See, I'm the smoke. Our mom, she's still alive, but she was very, very powerful because there's 5 of us total, and she was a sergeant at the Tennessee Prison for Women a little over 29 years before she retired. She also went to Pearl High School, is a historical black college in Nashville. High school, in Nashville, and there was only 2 black high schools at the time when she was in high school. She graduated in 1967, and then she also went to TSU when it was called A&I. Okay. She didn't graduate, but she went. Right. Okay. So, our mother, she's very powerful for the communities in Nashville. She grew up in John Henry Hill housing projects there. And, she's a homeowner now, but her whole journey, to me, she's like the Israel of the Bible. You know how Israel was the point for his family? Yeah. All the people rose through it. To me, that's how my mother is to me. It's like all of us have risen through her story because she represents coming from here and rising to the top.
She's a lady. She's not a loud woman.
Yeah, she's not loud.
She's real gentle, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen women not go to prison again. And they would come to us and say, you know what? I didn't go back to prison because of your mama. She helped me to structure my life. I had somebody just say that last week. Said it to somebody else. And they came to me and said, this lady over here been in prison. She was talking about your mama. She said she didn't go back because y'all's mama was fair. And when they saw her coming, they structured their lives. Because a lot of times when people are locked up, whatever sent them to prison, we don't know, but they lack structure, a lot of those women. So that was the main thing they would talk about. And we would go into the prison systems and sing and perform and do those things. So the power of community, I would say that's who Radiance, that's who we are. We have a community touch. And I say it all the time, it's an honor. It's an honor.
That's a very powerful testimony. And I do remember meeting Miss Gooch back in the day. She was a very, very nice lady. Like you said, very mild-mannered. But, well, since you're, of course, on the show, and our acronym is C.A.P, we always ask a question that deals with the acronym, which when I came up with the premise for this was cultivate, accumulate, prosper. So I'm going to ask you, how did you all cultivate your gifts individually to manifest radiance?
I think it took a daily focus, making the decision to be there, to go there, and to be there, and to be that. So I believe that it was the dedication, despite the no's, despite not seeing it, and then the spiritual motivation. God speaking in your heart, saying, "Get up," or because songwriters. We start hearing. It's like, let me grab my recorder. I heard something in the night, melodies, or you hear lyrics and stuff that starts coming in your heart before you even write it to the paper. So I think a lot of that cultivation just comes from just getting up and keep doing it.
And reading a lot of books, because I think a lot of people think if they don't have the opportunity to go to college for whatever reason, I'm not here to make any judgments. And then college is not for everybody. Right. But one thing I want to say to the people, the power that's in your community is the library. Go to the library and find a book on the subject. I did a lot of that. But I want to say about 2 people in the industry. Babyface is one of my favorite songwriters, and that's because he's a lyric man, but he has the power of melody. When a lot of Babyface songs that you hear, what sticks out to you when you think about it is the melodies. I only think of you on 2 occasions. You're thinking about the melodies. When you hear what is that, Waiting to Exhale that he did, he wrote for Whitney Houston. You think about the melodies of his songs. those are the things that, stick out. So he was one of my favorite songwriters. Also, I remember seeing Brian McKnight when he said he treats songwriting as a job. So it wasn't just like, okay, I have this song idea. Let me just have this song idea. It was like, no, if you treat it as a job, when you wake up and I'm hearing a melody in my head, I'm hearing lyrics. Now I'm like, okay, it's a job. So let me write this song today. We were writing with so much speed back then. That's why, we have songs still that are unreleased, but just taking on that kind of mentality, like that's how you cultivate the gift. Like you don't wait. And like Ava DuVernay said, you don't call yourself aspiring, nothing. I think that was Ava DuVernay or Shonda. What was it, Shonda that wrote?
Shonda Rhimes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of them, I remember seeing them say, you never call yourself aspiring because you're telling yourself that you're not that right now.
Right.
And so I took on the mentality. I'm like, well, when do we become that? Do you become it when you get a paycheck?
Right.
Are you a writer when you get a paycheck? No, you're not. You're a writer now. You're a songwriter now. You're a videographer now.
And
before people know your name, right? Before the people know your name, before you're on BET, what you're doing right now, you're that right now. The numbers are gonna come, but you got to see yourself as that now, and that's how you cultivate your talents and gifts. You got to know that you're that now, and what you do, you get more of it. I wrote one song in 1999, but in 2024, I done wrote hundreds of songs. Because every song is a song. It just accumulates. But that's how you cultivate the gift. You start and believe that you're that whatever you are now.
You have just really said something. That is the best way I have heard that cultivate question answered. And it's funny because you just mentioned the second part of it. Accumulate. Accumulate. What have you accumulated along your musical journey?
For me personally, I've accumulated the thing that money can't buy. That's confidence. Because when when you have the mind that works, you have the ability to get wealth. So say if you lose it all, I'm not blessed because I have a whole lot of things. I'm blessed because I can recreate. That's my accumulation.
Yeah, and then you know what? Not just this situation alone, but a lot of the situations while being Radiance was one thing's for sure that when you become a musician, life is still gonna happen. Life is still gonna be natural. You're gonna still have sickness. You're gonna still have money problems. You still, we still work jobs. We still, you're gonna have your family. Birth kids, blah blah blah. But I just believe that for the accumulation thing, it's been the connections. It's been the people that we've got along the way. And a lot of times, we plan when we have a vision. We think it's gonna turn out a certain way. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna do this. But God has to show me something. He was like, it wasn't that. It was that I sent you. Look at your original vision. I sent you to create opportunity also. So it's helping other people realize the dream within them. And that's what Radiance did. A lot of times when you're doing the thing, you think, well, not necessarily that you're a mode or a standard, but sometimes people will get up and realize, oh, I do that too. I'm also a musician. I'm also a songwriter. I'm also a singer. So it's not that they're doing what you do. They just realize, oh, that's one of my treasures. I'm finna lock it. I'm finna release it too. And a lot of times with the accumulation, it ain't just that we came forth. The accumulation is that the city, and I'm not saying that we bought the city forth. Some of them we re-sparked because it was some before us that was trying to do it independently, but they just didn't know how. So they did what they did in the time that they did it. But I believe that, like even today, they're having an event, and a lot of the hip hop artists in Nashville, they're coming together with Buck to do something at a park today. So I believe that the accumulation is that people start hearing about you and they're like, wait a minute, let me get back in the circuit. So the accumulation is just the people. It's a whole movement in Nashville moving now. That's great. An accumulation in the city that tried to say, no, we're just country music. We kept breaking that mold through. We kept breaking it. Yeah. And so although, some people that don't like country, they gonna still get it because it's still happening. Yeah. That music circuit is happening in Nashville.
And that's powerful that you say that. Before I ask this last one, I know even though when I moved and went to school in Nashville and then ended up living there for a few years before I left, when people think of Nashville, all that they think in their mind is country music. And it's so much more than country music. It's known for that with the Grand Ole Opry, but it's much more just like Memphis. You folks automatically Elvis, man. Memphis is so much bigger than Elvis.
Right. Yes.
And it's bigger than, even though unfortunately it's a place that took the life of Martin Luther King. We have the museum here, but it's much more bigger than Elvis. But you have folks who just kind of like, oh, this is what Nashville, this is what Memphis is known for, which is known for much more than that. So, you know, what I wanted to ask was, from the prosper standpoint, how has your journey of all your accomplishments allowed you to prosper? And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be monetary, of course. But
I think it's the wisdom. Once you gain wisdom, nobody can take that from you. It says wisdom is better than riches. Yeah. I mean, once you have it, you have it. And like I said, you can recreate it, because it's about going from glory to glory, reinventing yourself, evolving. So prosperity to me, or prospering, is to evolve, to innovate, to grow.
Okay.
I think the power in the prosperity part of it is that the end result is that it's booming, it's happening. You know, because a lot of times we question God, is it going to happen? And the beauty of it is you can look at it and be like, that's what Jesus did. I mean, God, in the beginning, when he said, let there be lights, he looked at it and said, good. And then when he said, let there be, humans.
That's it.
Very good. One day you're going to look at what you did, what God calls you to do. Faith without works is dead. When you work that plan, you're going to say, oh my goodness. Good. Very good. You're going to say done. And it might not be that you do, it's the thing that you're going to do for the rest of your life till you go to the grave. It might be for a season. But somebody, when you're saying to yourself, good, somebody's like, I heard that. Good. I saw good. I saw you. Good. Thank you, Lord. When I was walking on nothing, something is happening. That's the beauty of the prosperity. It's prospering. It's having an end result. It's good. It's success. It's doing what it was supposed to do. Even when you thought you were supposed to be rich doing it, I have given you a richness in the people that money cannot buy. It's done.
This is inspiring, to say the least.
Amen.
And it makes me think about, so often when someone close to me has passed away, I think about the different things that they have done. My pastor had this message that he talked about, and he talked about there is the time that you were born, and there's the time that you die.
That's right.
There's that dash in the middle. What are you doing with the dash?
That's right.
And it makes me think about, too, that when people pass away and when you think about the things that they've done, it's like one of the main things that I say, and I'll even post it on Facebook, well done. You did good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that simple.
That reminds me of my grandmother when, she had Alzheimer's. So when she got to her end days, she would ask for us. She didn't remember much, but sometimes when Mama would go to see her, she would say, where are my twins? Every now and then she would chime in and say that. But so the last week that she passed, I would go after church and see her at a place called Trevecca in Nashville. And one day I went in there. It was the very last time I saw her. And she said, I leaned over her because I didn't think she knew I was there. But she opened her eyes and she kind of looked at me. I knew she didn't really recognize me. But she said, never let nobody tell you you're not good. And I said, what did you say, Maria? She said, never let anybody tell you that you're not good. Those are the last words I heard from her. And she passed away in April of 2019 on my wedding anniversary. So, I mean, it's coming up now, but, I didn't know that after that I would go through a whole lot of situations after that. Like, I got sick. I was dealing with a major organ issue that I overcame. Then I fell at the gym and broke my ankle and messed up my knee real bad. So I lost the ability to walk for a while. And I had to recall those words. And sometimes you got to recall that word right there.
That's right.
It's good. Some days you got to wake up and you ain't feeling it. It's all good.
It's all good.
I don't know how this is going to happen, Lord. You told me to do this, but it's good.
Very good.
And when I'm not feeling my best, I'm still good.
That's right.
If the numbers ain't adding up and I done lost the job or something, you got to be telling yourself, good. It's all good.
Because you got to remember that the preservation of anything that you go through is you. And that's what I realized. There's life at every level. Do you hear me? A lot of times we look bad at ourselves because of the financial. We didn't reach certain things, or we felt like we failed, or we not married at this time. Like me, I just now had my daughter. She's 4 and I'm 46. I had my daughter late because of some health issues in 2002 to 2011 that I overcame. But I'm just making a point. But God has to tell you sometimes there's still life left. There's life. You took a fall and you didn't think that you could rediscover joy and peace from down here. You didn't think that you could still have an impact from this place. Because we look at financial level. We look at, I want to be a millionaire. And God is like, you're saying you want to be a millionaire, but you could pay bills and be an owner before you even become a millionaire. You can own cars. You can own, you don't. So we looking at the wrong things sometimes. So what I'm saying is, I just want to say there's life at every level. I don't care where you from. If you that's why God had to say, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, because I'm still right there. Mm-hmm. Life is still with you, no matter what level you go to. Mm-hmm. So say you're good. You're still good. Somebody needs to know that, because we looking at finances, we compare, and we thinking, well, I didn't meet the status quo, and I'm this age, I missed out, I missed my time. No, you didn't. You're still very good from that point. And there's a story right there. There's still a story.
And that's what you write as a creative. That's what you write. That's where you write the songs. That's where you write the scripts. That's where you write the poetry.
Like y'all's program. Go get them. Sometimes we shoot for the height, but there's some voices in the valley. There are some voices in the valley that may be the voice to take someone to the height. All of us might not be called to be on the height like the Beyoncés. I respect her craft greatly. God bless her. But our call was the voice of the valley. There were so many multitudes of people that have come forth and just confirmed our call when we did not see it in 1999. It's been a quarter of a century. We didn't see it, but we are seeing the fruit now. Like they say, you don't see the fruit immediately, but it comes.
Yeah, what was it? Plant the seed, you don't see the tree immediately. Yeah. But now we're seeing the trees. Yeah. Every time somebody, like I said, tells us, oh yeah, I was inspired. I remember this, and I remember when y'all was at this place, and those are the rewards. So
that's very powerful what you all said. I would say this before we go to the next segment, is that comparison is the thief of peace, and we all have at some point in our lives, and a lot of people still do, they compare their lives to others. I should be this, I should be here. We've all done it at some point. The key is not dwelling on that.
Exactly.
And for those folks who want to either judge you or, whatever the case may be, because they like, well, so-and-so is here. I know back in the day that I used to wrestle with that when it comes to certain things. And then I was like, man, hold up. And when I heard, I forgot who it was, say that quote I just said, that thief is the comparison, comparison is the thief of peace. I mean, because you comparing apples and oranges, pick your fruit. Yeah. Grapes, melons, whatever fruit you like, but each fruit has its own goodness. It may not be your cup of tea, but folks will do that. And I know as a man, I'm sure you all know as women, that people do that, and sometimes it can be family, it can be so-called friends, it can be colleagues or people you're trying to do business with. And when that would happen, it used to irk me. I used to be like, hold up. Man, I'm ready to say something, but then now I've gotten better with that, realizing like, man, I could care less about what they talking about. I'm running my race. I got to focus on what I'm doing. And so God can get the best out of me, even when I'm down and even when I'm frustrated, because, man, that happens to the best of us. But people do that comparison. Well, you got 2 books. Well, this person, like, hold up. Or, read the book that you choose to read, but don't, so it's, what both of you said was powerful and needed.
Absolutely.
So now we're going to get to the segment of our show where we have a little fun. You all definitely dropped some gems today. Absolutely. So we're going to get to the segment called Pick One. I'm going to start it off. It's dealing with music. So this is how it's going to go. I'm going to give you 2 people. Then you can tell me who you pick and why. I'm going to give you my take, and then Erica going to go with her question. So my pick one is these 2 young female artists who I like both of their music. So who would you pick, Mooney Long or her?
Her.
Okay.
Definitely her. I love her's music. I love the style. She is simple.
Yep.
She is pure and concentrated. She is music. Like she exudes music. When
she's the real thing.
I mean, everything about her exudes music. I mean, she just does. And the way she plays that rock guitar, I'm like, the power that comes off the guitar without her having to do the head bang. And I mean, I would tell her to add it.
Yeah, you know,
she's electric.
I'm sorry. And this is not to let nobody down in music, but she exudes, like the music goes before her. You know, like there was to me, there's a move in entertainment where they, you know how they used to brand the name, but now they brand beauty. I'm not saying that don't be beautiful, but they kind of brand it a little bit too much. Where it's like, wait a minute,
where's the talent?
Wait a minute, we looking for music, not models.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think with her, like you said, it's the purity of it. Of when she comes in the room, it's like I'm expecting a musician. Just, you know, if I'm looking for a musician, I got it. You know.
Yeah, and that's not to put the other artists down. Yeah, she's good as well, but I think what happens with her, she has a range. You know, you have the writer, you have the musician, you have the singer, you have the performer. It's like the range of what she does is just incredible.
Yeah, I would say for me, I like both of the ladies, but I gotta give the edge to her as well because to me she's like almost like a female version of Prince Rogers Nelson. She can sing, she can play the instruments, right, and do all that. Now Mooney Long, she sings too, and she got some fire hits right now with "Made for Me," and of course her banger she came out with "Hours and Hours." Like she came out the gate with that. I was like, okay, hold up. And then she did the remix with Usher with that. But my favorite song by her is "Comfortable," "As I Am," "Damage," and she got a whole slew of other songs. And she's just a dope young artist. So I would have to get an edge for me as well for her. But both of them are, you know, they are both singing. You know, it's not this auto-tune gimmicky type stuff, which, you know, folks who do that, that's fine. But, you know, they're singing, but her is definitely a complete, she's like her own way, but she's like a younger female version of Prince who just instruments, write music, sing music, and I highly respect that because, of course, everybody know Prince is one of my favorite artists. The big three: Prince, MJ, and Stevie. You know? Yeah. So I have to give the edge to her.
Okay. So I would like to say first that I choose her as well. Both are very talented. I love both of them, but I would say her my favorite is Comfortable myself. Now for my pick one. So I am really big into like some musicals and stuff. I wrote a stage play, well, 2 stage plays, Detours 1 and Detours 2. And they both had the first one was a Christian adaptation of The Wiz, because that's like my all-time favorite musical. Like I love The Wiz. Don't judge me. But, so my pick one, I'm going to go with musicals. So I'll say Dreamgirls or... I had to say one at first. I'm going to say this instead. Sister Act 2, simply because I love the youth and I love the music in it.
That's a hard one. It is a hard one. Wow.
I probably would go with Dreamgirls. I like I don't know. I probably would go with Dreamgirls. I don't know why, because they're both good. That's a hard choice for me. I'm sorry.
But you know
it depends on my mood, I guess.
As far as more animation, I would go for Dreamgirls. And just because, like, I love Keith Robinson, his voice, just some of the greats, you know, Jennifer Hudson, all of them were good too. Beyonce. I love the storyline, Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
I think with Dreamgirls, it's the versatility and the mood. You know, as far as Sister Act, I know they came from the nuns and, you know, but Dreamgirls for the animation, you know, how animated it was.
And then there were favorite parts in like Sister Act, you know, when Lauryn Hill did the song and, you know, there were different pieces. But yeah, overall, I would say Dreamgirls too.
Now, see, I can say for the very same reason, because like Sister Act 2, I love the songs. I love the song at the end, the choreography with it and everything. Well, I helped come up with the choreography because I'm not a dancer. But I would have to say Dreamgirls, because that was just a dynamic movie to me. Even just the fact, like when they came in with Jennifer Hudson, they were doing that song, turn my back and find myself out on the line. You could have warned me, but that would have been. I was like, wait a minute, how did they just come up with this?
The
It was
mood,
so creative the way they were doing that, and I still
Yeah.
remember that whole thing. But yeah, Dreamgirls, because that was the song. Listen, the song that Jennifer Hudson song, and I used to sing it all the time, and now I can't think of it. Oh my goodness!
And You're Gonna Love Me. I know it's
not that one. This the one where she was where she was like in the club. Look at me, I am changing.
Okay.
I am changing.
Yeah, when he told her that she was washed up and those days were over. That's what he told her.
Yeah, her character, she really did a good job with that. Even how she fell to the, how she fell in the movie and then rose back up and ended life on the stage. Just that movie just is good.
Yeah, it was well written.
The storyline, everything.
Very well written.
Classic.
Well, I guess for me, it's Dreamgirls, because I'm be honestly, I never did watch Sister Act 2.
That's
And I know Whoopi's an extraordinary actress. I just never got into the series, but Dreamgirls, all the actors and actresses, but then my guy Eddie Murphy playing Jimmy Earl. That was that part. Yeah, Jimmy got sold. Yeah, that was funny to me. So and it's an underrated movie, folks.
It is.
It's underrated. Yeah, so I gotta give the edge to Dreamgirls, because and folks don't realize Eddie Murphy's always been one of my favorite comedians, but he can act.
Yeah.
He can act. You know what I'm saying? Of course, my top favorite movies from him, Boomerang, Coming to America, and some other ones, Life and whatnot, other things. But he can act, whether it's comedic or serious.
Yeah.
But that part in that movie with him playing that role, man, I was like,
Yeah, he's definitely a standard for Hollywood to me, blacks in Hollywood.
And he can sing.
Yeah.
People don't think about that. He makes jokes and he's funny in it, but Eddie Murphy can actually sing.
Yeah. So
the way that they cast that whole movie
it's really
with
good.
the singers and everything, it was people that could sing that I didn't even realize could sing anymore.
yeah.
So we now come to the part where we have our banana peel. This is where we have the opportunity to give others the opportunity to write in with their questions for us, and we give our advice on the questions. Before I get into the banana peel, you guys watching, you see that little red box. It's right there. You're watching the watch right now. Click on that red box. It says subscribe. Subscribe right now. Share it. Talk about it. Tell people about C.A.P. This is not just your regular podcast. This is something, as you can see, we can go off the books a little bit. We can go off the script a little bit and still give you a great show. So we would love for you to share it, subscribe right there. And for those of you who have questions for us, you can send your questions to the C.A.P Podcast 3 at gmail.com. What's that again, Jerry?
The C.A.P Podcast 3 at gmail.com. Send your banana peel questions. And if it's selected, we will answer it on our next episode and try to help you out. So let's get started with it.
Here we go. Y'all get ready for this one, okay? Whew. Me and my guy have been together for 4 years. One night, we were at some friend's spot for couples night. The question came up about body count. Instead of dare, he chose for us to answer. I was surprised his answer was a little lower than I previously assumed. When I hesitantly said mine, I could see his expression go left. The past week since that game night, he has been acting distant. So I finally asked, what's up? Is this about the body count question? He claims it has nothing to do with that, but I feel he's not being honest. I don't have time for this because it's our past, but I would have passed on the question, but he chose for us to answer. What should I do? This is coming from Nija from Atlanta, Georgia. Phew. So this is what I have to say. That body count can be very interesting to say the least, but we always say in a lot of these that this is something where you definitely have to have the discussion. If you feel like he's not being honest, you need to talk about that. And I can get what you're saying about it being a part of the past, but if he chose to answer, there may have been like something in him that made him just want to see, okay, what is she going to say with this question? Because obviously you had not talked about it before. So now I think that if he put it out there for the question to be answered, then he needs to go ahead and let this be a serious discussion that you have and see what comes from that. Because, yeah, that's one of those questions that's it's going to become serious in the relationship, and it just requires communication.
Oh, okay. Well, good take, Erica. What you said. This is how I look at this.
He's peeling back that banana.
Yeah, let's peel back this banana real quick. The only body that should count is the person you with. Whether you're married or in a relationship or whatnot. Once you start opening the door to the past, you leave that door crack, it's going to disrupt your future. Now, I don't know what age range you all are, but those type of couples games or whatnot, it usually kind of puts me in the mind of what folks do back in their 20s. But give or take, neither here nor there. I don't, I'm like what Darius Lovehouse said on Love Jones. I have a habit of not asking questions I don't want to know the answer to. So with that being said, he chose to do that. Obviously there's something that's there. Only thing I can tell you to do is you all truly have a real grown heart-to-heart conversation and let the past be the past, because unless you are a natural, rare born virgin that's still a virgin, it is what it is. I think some years ago when I was talking with someone just happened to ask me that question, and I looked at them like, really? Like, seriously? It's like, yeah, you don't have to say nothing if you don't want to. I'm like, but I mean, if you ain't got nothing to hide, I'm like, whoa, what are we saying about what's there to hide? So how I answered that was, I said more than one, less than a million. She looked at me. She was like, what? I was like, more than one, less than a million. And I said that I was being facetious, but I said it simply because I'm like, I had no desire to ask her that. So why are you asking me this? But since you are pressing this, that's what I'm gonna say. Now, if that's gonna affect how you see me or feel about me or want to continue talking to me, then you can keep it moving. Because I've just learned not to. Yeah, the past is the past for a reason. But some people just want to know things for whatever reason. Everything is not meant to be known, and everything is not relevant. But if that's what you choose to do, you got to be man or woman enough to accept that truth. If you decide to open that door and then let it be. So, but my take is, Nija, talk to him and say, look, you you didn't want to answer that, but he chose for y'all to answer that, whatever the case is. So for him to be honest, because all that's going to do is continue to create tension, and that's not needed, So, and I don't know too many fellas that be wanting to ask something like that, but hey, everyone's different. But we're going to ask our guests to chime in like we always do, what they think about it.
Well, all I'm going to say about this, it just seemed like after 4 years, why didn't y'all get that in the beginning of the relationship? Exactly. It's like, why is it an issue? If you have a 4-year establishment, I assume that they're courting, right? They're not married. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're courting. Yeah. All I'm saying is if they've been courting for 4 years, why would all I can say, maybe it's his jealousy. Maybe it's his jealousy for her after 4 years that he would change. But I mean, the question is he gonna leave? Are y'all finna leave each other just because you found out information that you probably should have discovered earlier? I just believe that a lot of times when you get older, you learn to mature in relationships, to ask those questions from the beginning. And most people that are very aged, we don't ask questions like, what's the body count?
Well, that's not any of my concern or questions about, okay, who cares about the body count? Why y'all doing that in front of y'all's friends? Why isn't that a private conversation? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you something. If you're in a relationship and y'all not covering each other in public, what y'all doing? You want a covering when you're in a relationship. So the body count conversation, it just should not have happened in front of everybody. That's just my take.
I can totally agree with you on that. I just started thinking about that too, because I'm like, why wasn't this a discussion in the beginning?
Why is it in private?
Yeah,
private.
Yeah, I mean, what you all are saying for anyone to, that's why I said, I know, I'm sure when couples have with their friends and they play games, different games, but why would this be a question? But, and then if this question, I mean, if it's whatever it is, if it's answer or take a dare, man, no way in the world I'm looking like either next question or we finna take a dare if that came about, but just for the simple fact that that's even being answered, but he wanted an answer. So it's one of those things where like, then there's got to be something there that he's wrestling with,
right? Because
I don't know personally of any fellas that want to, if they don't already know, that want to know that information about the lady they with. And like I said, I quoted Darius Love Hall and Love Jones, like, look, I'm not fit, because and you don't need to ask me, because that's in the past. I'm focusing on the future, the present, building towards the future if I'm in a situation like that or whatever the case may be. But you have some people, insecurities will show up in various ways now.
So, Naja, I would definitely say that this is something that needs to be addressed with him, because obviously you had the thought to pass the question or take the dare. And as you can see, we would have done the same. So this may be something that some insecurities that he's having to deal with himself. So it's definitely having a discussion.
Yeah, definitely had that discussion with him. I wish you all the best, and hopefully that'll be something that you all can overcome. But just don't let your peace be disrupted by this. Is all I can tell you, Nasha. All right, so now we have had a great show with our guests, Radiance, Rashonda, Ralonda. Now this is your time to let our audience and our viewers know how they can book you, your social media handles, what you got coming up next. Have at it.
Well, you can find all of our links at radianceworldwide.com. Everything is there in the contact area. Oh, you can also, our 5 CDs are actually on our Reverb Nation page. You can go to www.reverbnation.com/It's Radiance. And if you go to the music part, we actually have all 5 of our CDs on there so you can listen to it for free. Oh, and the book Pure Gold, that's on the website, radianceworldwide.com. Yeah, it's available on Amazon. And let's see. Also, we have a song we're about to release called Flow, self-written. And the producer on that song is Mario Moore. He's actually worked on some of our CDs in the past as well.
So is this song flow? Is it more of a gospel song, R&B, neo soul? What
It is
type
mainstream R&B.
mainstream R&B? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Look forward to. So you all heard it first. Yeah, how to get in contact with them, how to book them, how to purchase their music, their book Pure Gold, and to be on the lookout for that single Flow.
I'm telling y'all, make sure that y'all look into this now for real, because I know that I am. I need the music. Seriously. So you guys, now it is time for us to go right into our detours moment. My special moment first. If you would like to book me for speaking engagements or for coaching, you can go to www.eph6productions.com, and you can also email me at Ephesians6Pro. That's EPHESIANS 6Pro at gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, as C.A.P Podcast, E6 Coaching and Consulting, Ephesians 6 Productions, and Erica Jackson. So now, going right into our detours moment. I saw this on Facebook, and it really caught my attention, and it goes right along with detours. Reset, restart, refocus. Do whatever you have to do, but just don't quit. In these times, in this season, there are so many people that are going through so much financially, spiritually, emotionally. Many of us are drained. We're exhausted. But you guys, no matter what's going on, go through it. I believe Ty Tribbett has this song, you can cry only for one night, though. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. Reset, restart, refocus, but just don't quit.
It's powerful words of wisdom, Erica. So definitely do that. Before we get to the brain drop moment, just want to say anyone who needs any coaching sessions or a speaker, you can book me at Linktree/Jerry Davis. That's Linktree/Jerry Davis. I'm on all social media handles. On IG as Life Coach Jerry Davis. Coaching, 5 Dimensions Coaching and Speaking. I would love to be your speaker or be on a panel or anything like that. So definitely, and then you can reach me at authorjdavis@gmail.com. Phone number 310-5085 is there on the bottom of the screen. So now for the brain drop moment. The best weight to shed is the weight of others' opinions. I'm going to say that again. The best weight to shed is the weight of others' opinions. We live in a time in a society where, of course, physically folks, trying to be healthier, want to lose weight, work out, as we all should work out or whatnot. But from a mental and spiritual standpoint, you deal with the weight of what others think about you or what you should be doing, whether it be family, significant others, friends, colleagues, or what have you, even sometimes yourself. But the best weight to shed is the opinions of others, because people are going to think what they want to think. And you have to watch what expectations you allow others to put on you that's unrealistic. You have to trust God, and of course, believe and trust God, and also believe in yourself to know what it is that you are trying to do, the vision that you have, and just keep at it. Resiliency is key. It's bigger than just a regular skill set, because resiliency allows you to be able to go through whatever is going on and still keep at it. I know all too well of this. My co-host does, and both of our guests does, including Cash's producer. So just understand that people are going to say what they're going to say. If it's nothing that's positive or edifying, you can take that with a grain of salt, but the best weight to shed is the weight of others' opinions.
Amen.
Okay, so we have had a great show today. I want to thank my guests from coming down from Nashville to be on our show, Radiance, friends who I've known for a good moment, and I'm grateful to have known you all, still know you all, and thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
And so with that being said, like I always say as we end the podcast, if you're going to be anything in life, be for real. This is JD.
This is Erica.
Until the next time, we're signing off. Cultivate.
Accumulate.
And together we all prosper. Bye.
Bye.